Hey, it's time to test out the stock. So I'd talk about it just a little bit and then go shoot it a little bit. Main purpose of this stock was to get a proper geometry for my cheek so my eye would line up perfectly with those high-vis sights. And when my cheek is right on that comb, this camera's funny because of the way the lens is, I'm getting a perfect sight picture. With the stock that was provided with it, the plastic stock, the edge is kind of tapered sharply, and I found I had to put a part of my cheek right up on the sharp part, so every time I got recoil I was getting hit with a very small area of the stock in my cheek. With this, I'm hoping that because of the way it's a little bit higher, a little bit rounder and fatter, my big old fat cheek will just slap right up onto it. I also spent a great deal of time working out the ergonomics of this grip. There's a rod that runs all the way through here, and you know, you can only shape up so high before you're going to come into the channel where the rod is. So I was constrained by that, so I had to work out a narrowness here and on the other side and all that in a shape here. Let me flip it over. And I shaped this for the heel of my palm, the fat part of my palm, to curve into. And the trigger is just exactly where I want it. It's perfect. Where just this part of my finger is going to be touching the trigger. And it's very secure. It feels like I'll be able to take the most of the recoil right here, which is what I was hoping for, which is why I made this so beefy. Absorb a lot of the recoil here. Okay, when it comes to flaws, thicker stock would have been nice. I had to work with what I had. If I'd had thicker stock, I could have profiled it to fit the stock Remington butt pad. I cut this butt pad down on the bandsaw. As you can see, I messed it up a little bit because it has a relief to go into the plastic stock. So I've got my eye on a Pachmayr white line, which I can shape to the shape of this stock. I can put it on there, trace it, sand it, get it perfect, mount it, and it'll look like it's supposed to. And it'll have that little white line that makes it look like a professional stock. This is one coat of Formbees. It's still a little tacky. It's been buffed out. Fit on the receiver. Okay, I got to work on this still. This is a little high. That's got to come down. That's why I haven't bothered putting another coat on, because I'm going to have to surface this down. But all this has to be done with the gun mounted, taped up, and then you just work right to it. This is just a little low. That was my mistake grinding. When I was getting happy with the grinder, I brought this edge down about 1/64th below the stock. Now if I made the whole thing that way, it would look like it's supposed to be that way. However, you can see this is a little stuff I like, the little detail where it follows the gun. That's what I want to do, is I just want to flow it into this organic shape. On the other side, again, getting happy with the power sanders because it was turning into a long day. I spent about 12 hours doing this. I took a knob off of this. Either that or it chipped off. Now also, this is an unfortunate place to have all this kind of knotting burl. It makes it brittle. So my hope is that recoil isn't going to cause this area to fracture. So that's another thing that I'm a little concerned about. Long-term testing. I'll check it out. I love the grain, even just with one coat of Formbees. And again, as you can see, you know, the pad hangs over. Now I could shape this pad on the sander, but I don't want to. I just want to get a proper pad. This shape is kind of funky. Now if I had to do it over again, I would probably keep this square, and I would just source a square recoil pad and keep it more tactical looking. But I kind of wanted that blend between birding gun, ultralight, target gun, and then overall it's a tactical looking piece, you know, so it's kind of weird. It's just something I wanted to try out. I hadn't seen anything like it, obviously. Nobody's going to make anything like this. So I made it. That's me rambling. Gonna go ahead and take a few shots over here at the steels, see what happens.